What's going down, Raider Nation? This is WiFiWillie of the Raiders Rundown. Today we're going to break down every undrafted free agent. And why not start with the most hyped guy, Tre Turner, the wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. This guy was projected to go in the 6th round, but fortunately for the Raiders, were able to pick him up undrafted. He's 6'2", 187 pounds, not the fastest guy, ran a 4.53 40 time. But one of the best things about him is he makes the contested catch look easy. This guy is very acrobatic and can really fight for those 50-50 balls. We could use somebody like him. Even though he doesn't have the best 40 time, he still does well with those jet sweeps, especially in 2009. When you watch him, he has some really crisp slants too, great route running ability. 187 pounds right now, but if he adds a little bit more weight, he could make those dangerous catches in the middle of the field. The reason why he did fall is because he's had bad quarterback play. He's had 6 different quarterbacks in his career and only 675 yards last year, no touchdowns. Obviously, that's not going to pop to most GMs, but he could be a good sleeper under the radar candidate. Let me know in the comments if you think this guy could make the 53-man roster. Yo, make sure you like this video to boost it in the algorithm and subscribe to the Raiders Rundown for more Raiders news and content every single day. Myself and my co-host Hotspot Audrey will be going live Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, discussing the latest NFL news and rumors. Make sure you join us then. Let's talk about Sam Webb from Missouri Western. The 6'2", 195 cornerback was originally projected to go in the 6th round. He played in Division II football. Even though he didn't face the right NFL talent, he still has the size and capability to be a cornerback in the NFL. In particular, this guy does excel at press coverage. He doesn't have to start right away because we got a loaded cornerback room, but if Sam Webb could develop over time on the practice squad, he could prove to be a great player for the Raiders in a few years. He has great communication and zone coverage, amazing leaping ability for jump balls, and in Division II he killed it, 7 picks and 39 pass breakups. One of the biggest knocks on this guy is because he did play in Division II, you don't have the greatest refs. We expect him to draw too many penalties in the NFL, but hopefully the Raiders can get that under control for him. Let's talk about wide receiver Justin Hall from the Ball State Cardinals. This guy is 5'9", 186 pounds, but not the fastest guy, ran a 4.54 40 time. Even though he does not have that speed, he has really great hands, and it's something that a lot of coaches should be able to work with over time. He has excelled tremendously in deep routes and can track the ball really well when it's thrown deep. And historically in his college career, he's just had a knack for getting open, ends up being the quarterback's best friend at times. Almost like a smaller Hunter Renfrow in a lot of ways, and I don't want to make that comparison because Hunter Renfrow is the GOAT, but you know what I'm trying to say. Not the speediest guy, but manages to get open. Sometimes he makes mistakes on deep passes, doesn't use his hands to catch the ball, tries to use his pads, and that can create some drops. And his general size is clearly an issue, but I like the fact that this guy does multiple things. You see this, 613 receiving yards, but also 255 rushing yards. This guy is doing everything. So I'm really excited to see what he can do in preseason. The Raiders also picked up Arizona State linebacker Darien Butler, who is straight out of Compton. 5'10", 220 pounds. What I like about this guy is the fact that he's played a lot of college snaps and he was a 3-time captain. 4-year starter, 3-time captain. That's usually kind of hard to find fresh out of college. And unfortunately, he did drop to undrafted, which was kind of where he was projected to go, round 7, maybe undrafted free agent. He's really fast, really elusive, can get to the ball carrier very quickly. Great change of direction, and recently excelled in man and zone coverage in 2021. I think he could be a good special teams player for the Raiders if they like what they see. Sometimes his ability to change direction and aggressiveness kind of hurts him. He oftentimes has a lot of wasted motion in his play and needs to improve his technique, but he is a great raw talent overall. Last year, he had 3 interceptions, 3 pass breakups, 2 sacks, and then 68 tackles. All right, let's talk about the safety, Qwynnterio Cole from Louisville. He's 6 foot, 206 pounds. He was projected to go undrafted, and that's unfortunately exactly what happened. He does possess the pro physicalities to be a safety in the NFL. He really does have great power head-to-head against runners, not afraid to lay into blockers, and he has great football intelligence. That's probably why he has 8 interceptions over the last 3 seasons. He also had 6 pass breakups just last season. Some of his problems are in coverage. He is pretty slow when trying to match certain route breaks, and when he gets beat on the route, he doesn't really have the speed to recover. In general, he does struggle with short area speed, especially when he's trying to pursue a ball carrier. And this safety room is pretty loaded. So I'm not going to sit here and say this guy's going to make the practice squad. This guy's going to for sure make the team. I'm not going to just go on a limb and say that for the sake of it. It's going to be a tough road for him, but if he balls out, I guarantee a spot will open up. Another safety we picked up is USC Trojan Isaiah Pola-Mao. I wonder if he's related to Chairman Mao, but we do know for a fact that he is the nephew of Hall of Fame Pittsburgh Steelers safety Troy Pola-Mao. So we know this guy better have the football intelligence to excel at the NFL. One thing that's impressive about this guy is he's a 3-year starter and just had his best season last year. I know he doesn't have any interceptions, doesn't have any pass breakups, but he does have great football intelligence and clearly excels in zone coverage and man coverage, honestly. He has the size to press a lot of these players. 6'4", 205 pounds. That's some pretty big size for a safety. He's really talented at pursuing ball carriers. He's made some big hits in his college career. Even though he's 205 pounds, because he is so tall, he could add some more muscle and that could help his game in the NFL. The main reason why I believe this guy fell is because he's had 2 shoulder surgeries, so a lot of NFL teams just aren't going to take a chance on a guy with that kind of injury history. But he's got the name recognition, he's got the football IQ to excel in the NFL, he's got the height for it. Let's see what could happen with Pola-Mao. The Raiders have also picked up quarterback Chase Garbers from Cal, UC Berkeley. This guy's really a dual threat quarterback. He's actually the all-time leading QB rusher at Cal. He picked up 1,174 yards in 35 games. Last year, he threw for over roughly 2,500 yards, so he still needs to work on his passing game. That's not his strong suit as a quarterback, but Josh McDaniels believes he's a QB guru. Maybe this can be a guy he develops over time. We talked about how he might draft EJ Perry. Obviously, that didn't happen. We got Nick Mullins and Garrett Gilbert on the roster. Those aren't exactly young developmental prospects, but Chase Garbers is. And I am very interested to see if this guy gets some snaps in preseason and what Josh McDaniels can do with the undrafted quarterback in a short amount of time. Being primarily a rushing quarterback, he also has this really great sixth sense of pressure. So if McDaniels can get that accuracy and that QB IQ up, this guy could be dangerous a few years down the road. And next is Myron Tagovailoa-Amosa, Notre Dame defensive tackle. He's 6'2", 268 pounds, considered a really versatile defensive lineman, can play inside and on the outside, but he does lack the weight and mass for a defensive lineman. 268, he's gonna need to gain some weight and get stronger to really excel in the NFL. But one thing that you gotta really like about this guy, he's been a team captain, and you always gotta pay attention to that. Team captain, team leader, selfless player, great urgency, is always hustling, always trying to rally his teammates. He was projected to go undrafted, but he could find a role as a sub pass rusher at this point in his career. He has a decent spin move in his arsenal of tools. He's got a steep shot to make a 53-man roster. I'm not going to front on that, but I think if you keep this guy on the practice squad, get Deuce Gruden to beef him up, he can be a legit competitive defensive lineman in that sub defense. Really, mass is his biggest issue. He has trouble bull rushing because he lacks the weight, and his build is kind of top heavy, so he gets knocked off balance pretty easily. Usually has bad technique and just sort of blindly pursues the ball carrier. But he started a lot of games for Notre Dame in the Fighting Irish, so let's hope that he could prove all the haters wrong with the Las Vegas Raiders. Another Ball State Cardinal joined the team, Bryce Cosby, the safety. 5'10", 181 pounds, had 2 interceptions and 2 pass deflections last year. Being 5'10", 180 pounds, he does lack the bulk and strength to go against linemen in the NFL, and he struggled in coverage in his college career. But when you watch him, he has good instincts and he's always making plays on the field. When he has had the ball in his hands, he really excels. This is kind of the weirdest player we've picked up, Cole Fotheringham. He's a junior, and his whole career he's only picked up 398 yards and 37 receptions. Last year, you see that there, only 128 yards. But at 6'4", 240 pounds, perhaps Josh McDaniels thinks this guy could be a decent blocker in the NFL. And then we have Vabvalkenburg, 6'4", 267 pounds. One thing that's really impressive about this guy is he went from Division Division II football and made it to the Big Ten. He's kind of similar to a Ryan Kerrigan, that's kind of his prototype, but either way, you love seeing a guy go from D2, go all the way to the Big Ten. So if he has that work ethic where he could really shine and impress and level up, who knows what he can do in camp this year. Last year, he had 15 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. We have another Utah Ute, Bamidele Olaseni, 6'8", 330 pounds. This guy can be Trent Brown 2.0. What I really like about this guy is he's 26 years old, a more mature adult, still trying to make it in the NFL. And honestly, his mere presence on the field has scared defenders. I mean, could you imagine lining up against this guy and you think everything's going to be okay? What's so crazy about his career is he played in England, then played in JUCO, and then made his way to Utah. So similar to Vabvalkenburg, somebody who started at the bottom and has just come up over time and consistently improved. And when you have this size to work with, this athletic ability, you just know your trajectory can only go upwards. And this guy has definitely excelled in the run game. And he has just great length to fend off quick edge rushers, even though he himself is not that quick. He needs to clean up his footwork, improve his technique a little bit, maybe try to get some speed. Don't want to be the overweight Trent Brown. You want to be the more lean Trent Brown. But we'll see what Coach Priscillo can do with this guy. And why not keep him on the practice squad and develop him over time? I think it's a win-win for both sides. Either way, my name is WiFiWillie. Make sure you like this video if you watch it all the way through and subscribe to this channel for more Raiders content. We are going live Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and I hope to see you there. Peace out and have a good one.